Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive.
Yeah.
This time we're taking a look at attachment parenting.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to be going through the baby book.
That's right.
So get ready to learn all about how to really build that bond with your little one.
Yeah, building that connection, that strong connection.
Yeah, and so this book is really fascinating because it goes, it talks about understanding your baby's cues.
Right.
But it's more than that. It's like how those cues shape your response as a parent.
Yeah, it's not just, instinct.
Right.
It's like there's actual biology going on.
Yeah, like it's a two-way street.
Yeah.
So they talk about these things called attachment promoting behaviors, or APBs.
Yeah, I love that they call them APBs.
Yeah, and some of them are really obvious, like crying or smiling.
Yeah, the ones you can't miss.
Right.
But there are also these subtle cues.
Yes. And those
The little things.
And they're the ones that are really interesting. So like a change in breathing.
Right, or like the way they hold their hand or
Exactly, yeah.
make eye contact with you.
So it's about becoming a master cue reader.
Yeah. Like a baby whisperer almost.
Yeah, and they have all these incredible examples in the book about how these tiny cues trigger actual biological responses in parents.
Right.
Especially moms.
Yeah.
Like, did you know that a baby's gaze can actually increase blood flow and stimulate milk production?
Oh, yeah. It's amazing how we're wired to respond to them on such a deep level.
Yeah, and it really highlights why that early bonding is so crucial.
Absolutely.
So speaking of bonding,
okay,
the book introduces this framework called the 7 baby Bs.
Okay, the 7 Bs, I love it.
Yes, to kind of explain the key practices of attachment parenting.
Yeah, makes it easy to remember.
So let's walk through them.
Okay, let's do it.
So first up, we have birth bonding.
Okay, so this one is all about immediate skin-to-skin contact after birth.
Right.
Even after a C-section. It's that's that first moment, to kickstart that bonding process.
And that's so important. I love that they stress that it can be done no matter how the birth unfolds.
Yeah, absolutely. It's about adapting, to the situation.
Right.
Finding ways to make that connection happen from the very beginning.
And that leads perfectly into the next B, breastfeeding.
Yes.
So this is obviously a big one for the book.
Right.
It really delves into all the benefits, not just for baby's physical health, but for mom's well-being too.
Exactly. They even say a happier mom makes a happier baby.
Which makes a lot of sense.
It does, yeah.
But it's not just about the milk itself.
Right.
It's about that closeness.
Yeah.
That responsiveness to your baby's hunger cues.
It's another way to strengthen that bond.
Yeah.
Through nourishing touch.
Exactly.
And responsiveness.
Okay, so next up we have baby wearing.
All right, baby wearing. This is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
This is all about keeping your baby close.
Right.
Using carriers and slings.
Yeah.
It promotes bonding, calms them down, can even make breastfeeding easier.
I remember being surprised to learn that baby wearing isn't just a modern trend.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's been practiced for centuries.
Oh, wow.
In cultures all over the world.
That's so cool.
The book actually delves into some of that history, which I found really fascinating.
Yeah, it makes you realize it's this innate desire.
Yeah.
We have to keep our babies close.
Totally.
But beyond the tradition, there's also research.
Yes.
Highlighting all the developmental benefits of baby wearing.
Right, and the book mentions studies.
Yeah.
Showing how it can improve baby's visual and auditory alertness, which supports cognitive development.
It's like giving them a front row seat to the world.
Wow.
While keeping them safe and secure.
Okay, so let's get to a B that often sparks debate, bed sharing.
Okay.
So this one is definitely not for everyone.
Right, the book acknowledges that it's not about pushing, a one-size-fits-all approach.
Yes.
But it does make a compelling case for bed sharing, highlighting those potential benefits when it's done safely.
Did you know that sharing sleep can actually help regulate a baby's breathing and temperature?
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It's fascinating.
The book cites studies showing that bed sharing can reduce the risk of SIDS.
Really?
In some cases.
Huh.
But of course, it emphasizes the importance of following safe sleep guidelines.
Oh, right. Of course.
Like making sure the sleeping surface is firm.
Yeah.
And free of any loose blankets or pillows.
Absolutely. Safety first.
Yeah. So the book goes into detail about different bed sharing arrangements and how to create a safe sleep environment. So it's not just saying, hey, go sleep with your baby.
Right.
It's really giving you the information to make an informed decision.
Absolutely. It's about empowering parents.
Exactly.
To weigh those pros and cons and choose what feels right for their family.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
So next B.
Yeah. What's your next B?
Let's talk about it. So next B, let's talk about belief in the language value of your baby's cries. Okay, so this one really resonated with me. It's like understanding that crying isn't just noise. It's your baby's way of communicating.
Yeah, it's like recognizing that each cry has a meaning and responding with sensitivity and patience.
And I think this is where the attachment, part of attachment parenting really comes into play.
It's about building that trust and security by showing them you're there for them.
Right.
That you hear them and you'll do your best to meet their needs.
But I think a lot of parents worry that that will lead to spoiling.
Right. That's a common misconception.
Yeah.
But the book actually addresses that.
Oh, good.
It explains that responding to your baby's cries doesn't spoil them. Right. It teaches them that they can rely on you.
Okay.
Which actually fosters independence in the long run.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So on to the next B, which is kind of a cautionary tale. Beware of baby trainers.
Yes. This one challenges those rigid sleep training methods that advocate letting a baby cry it out.
Yeah. And this part of the book was really eye-opening for me.
Yeah.
It argues that those approaches can actually undermine the attachment bond you've worked so hard to build.
Yeah, it emphasizes that babies need to feel safe and secure in order to learn and thrive.
Right.
And that being left to cry alone can actually create feelings of distress and insecurity.
It's not about saying all sleep training is bad.
Right.
But it's encouraging parents to be mindful.
Exactly.
Of the potential impact on their baby's emotional well-being.
It's about finding that balance.
Right.
Between teaching healthy sleep habits and nurturing that bond.
And that brings us to the final B, balance.
Balance, my favorite.
Yes.
This one's all about recognizing that attachment parenting isn't about being perfect.
Right.
Or following some rigid set of rules.
It's about finding what works for you.
Exactly.
And your family.
And it acknowledges that even the most dedicated attachment parents need time for themselves.
Yes.
Self-care is essential.
I love that it emphasizes the importance of both parents' well-being.
Yes.
It's not just about the baby.
Right.
It's about the whole family thriving.
The whole family unit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we've covered a lot of ground with those 7 Bs.
Yeah.
But the baby book goes beyond just those foundational principles. It also dives into some common challenges parents face.
Okay.
Like, for example, what about those babies who just seem to need more?
Right.
The book talks about high-need babies.
Yes.
Can you explain what that means?
Yeah, so high-need babies are simply babies who have a greater need for physical contact, attention, and stimulation. They may cry more frequently, want to be held constantly, and have difficulty settling down.
So it's not a bad thing.
No, not at all.
It's just a different temperament.
Exactly. And the book emphasizes that it's important to understand and respond to their unique needs.
Right.
It's not about spoiling them. It's about meeting them where they are developmentally.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I imagine it can be quite exhausting for parents.
Oh, it can be, definitely. That's why the book stresses the importance of self-care and finding support systems.
Yeah.
It also offers practical strategies for soothing high-need babies.
Okay.
Like baby-wearing swaddling and white noise.
And what about other challenges like colic and reflux?
Oh, yeah, those can be tough.
Yeah, those can be so frustrating.
Yeah, for both babies and parents.
For everyone involved.
The book addresses those as well. It explains potential causes.
Okay.
And offers practical tips for soothing fussy babies.
Like what kind of tips?
Like adjusting feeding positions, burping frequently, and trying gentle carrying techniques.
I remember when my little one had colic, we tried everything.
Oh.
It was rough.
It's hard.
We eventually found a combination of things that worked.
Good.
But it was definitely a challenging time.
It sounds like you were able to tap into that belief in the language value of your baby's cries.
I think so. We really tried to figure out what he was trying to tell us and respond accordingly.
And that's the heart of attachment parenting, right? It's about being present, being responsive, and building that deep connection.
Now, another challenge that a lot of parents face is balancing work with an attachment parenting approach.
Right. How do you do both?
So how does the book address that?
It acknowledges the difficulty, especially for breastfeeding mothers.
Right.
But it offers practical advice like pumping breast milk, finding supportive childcare providers, and maximizing bonding time when you are home.
So it's about quality over quantity.
Exactly. Even small moments of connection can have a big impact.
Yeah.
A bedtime story, a shared bath, all adds up.
And I think that's an important message for all parents, whether they work outside the home or not.
Absolutely.
It's those everyday moments
Yeah.
that really build that bond.
Those little things make a big difference.
And speaking of feeling authentic, I loved how the book included some really personal anecdotes and stories from parents.
Oh, yeah.
It made it feel so real.
Those real-life examples really bring the concepts to life.
Yeah, it felt like I was having a conversation with other parents.
Right.
Sharing experiences and learning from each other.
That's what makes this book so special. It's not just a textbook. It's a guide written with heart and wisdom.
It really did.
Yeah.
And you know what? I have to share some of the other fascinating nuggets I found in the book.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, so for instance, it talks about the importance of a positive birthing experience and how that can set the stage for a stronger attachment relationship.
Oh, that makes sense.
Right.
Like if mom feels safe and supported during labor and delivery.
Exactly.
She's more likely to feel confident and connected to her baby.
Right from the start.
Yeah, right away.
And it goes into detail about how to advocate for your needs during labor.
Oh, that's so important.
Right.
For moms to know that.
Like whether that's having a doula present.
Right.
Or opting for a more natural birthing experience. And then there's a whole section on introducing solids.
Okay, yeah, that can be.
Which can be like a minefield for new parents.
A little overwhelming.
But the book breaks it down in such a clear and reassuring way.
Oh, good.
Emphasizing, respecting those tiny tummies.
Right.
And offering a variety of tastes and textures.
Yeah, expose them to all the different things.
Which actually reminds me of something else. The book advocates for baby-led weaning.
Oh, yeah, that's a really interesting approach.
Yeah, have you heard of that?
I have, yeah. It allows babies to kind of take the lead.
Right.
Exploring solid foods at their own pace.
And it ties back to that whole thing of trusting your baby's cues.
Right.
And allowing them to develop independence.
It all connects.
Yeah, but the book doesn't shy away from more sensitive topics either.
Okay, like what?
Did you know it advises against circumcision for baby boys?
Yeah, I remember reading that section.
Yeah.
It presents a really well-researched argument, highlighting the potential risks and ethical considerations.
So it encourages parents to do their research.
Absolutely.
Make an informed decision based on what's best for their son.
Right.
And speaking of informed decisions, I was surprised to see a section on cord blood banking.
Oh, yeah. That's definitely something to consider.
Right. And it details the potential benefits. Like using those stem cells for future medical treatment.
Right. It could be really valuable.
It even goes into the different types of cord blood banks.
Wow.
And how to choose one.
So much good information in this book.
I know, it's packed.
Yeah.
And what I appreciate most is that it's not just telling parents what to do.
Right.
It's really about empowering them to make choices that feel right for their family.
Exactly. It's about trusting your instincts, being responsive, and building that foundation of love and security that will last a lifetime.
So well said. As we wrap up our deep dive into the baby book, I want to say thank you.
Oh, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, it's been such a fascinating journey.
It has.
And while we've covered so much, there's always more to learn and discover.
Absolutely.
So as you continue on your parenting journey, remember that every baby is different. Every family is unique.
That's so important to remember.
There's no one right way to parent.
Nope.
It's about finding what works for you.
Exactly.
And your little one.
And I think the most important takeaway from the baby book is this. Trust yourself.
Yes.
You are the expert on your baby.
So well said. And thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of attachment parenting.
Thanks for having me.
We hope you've gained some valuable insights and feel empowered to create that deep and lasting bond with your baby.